Alright guys, welcome back to the Trackmania World Tour. It is now playoffs of Stage 2, and by the end of today, we will have a new champion.
We're going to have two very interesting matches between Solari and Berlin International Gaming, and then the winner of that is going to go to the grand finals against Alliance.
So since this is the playoffs, since we might have new people watching, if you don't know the Trackmania Grand League and its new point format, let's run through it one more time. So we have a best of 5 here. You got to win 3 maps to win the series. And in order to win a map, Janik, you have to score 10 points. Be the first team to get there.
Yes, and there's 3 different ways you can score points. You can either ace the other team, in which case you get 3 points. The way to do that is to get first and second place with your teammate. Now, you can also get a regular map victory where you get first and third, or lastly, Virtual, what can you get?
You can get a draw, and then you get first and fourth, or second and third. But if that situation happens, then both teams get 1 point each. So either 3-0, 2-1, or 1-1 are the ways the rounds can distribute points.
Yeah, and don't worry if it sounds a little bit confusing in the start. You will very quickly get used to it. Just takes 1 or 2 rounds to see how the point system works out, and it honestly works out great.
So we see the call from the admin here. The match is being started in just 10 seconds, so this is your warning. Tell your friends that this is happening. This is the loser bracket final between Solari and Big Clan, and the winner of this game will face Alliance in the grand finals. Carl Jr. from Canada, Pack from the Great Britain, and then the 2 German players, Grenadi and Massa from Big Clan. It's going to be very exciting here.
Absolutely. Let's hear it in the chat for the team that you are supporting. I would say right now, Big are the underdogs, as Solari, Carl Jr. and Pack are favored to always win these big tournaments. But Big has done such an impressive job coming back from the first split.
Yeah, think about it. They weren't even in the playoffs last split.
Exactly.
I think they placed 7th out of 8 teams regular season. And now they are just 1 game away from the grand finals, although against the defending champions.
Yep. Yeah, they are the defending champions from the last split, and they might be able to get up there again. Last split, they also fell back into the losers bracket, had to fight their way back up to the grand finals, and then won the grand finals. And I think this is what they're going to do once again.
You will see Pack getting the best start here, and Grenadi, we talked about his starting trick. He did not get to show its potency, but a very low quarter pipe jump puts him that 1/10 of a second ahead like we talked about. Now you can see some slight variations in the lines between the teams, but they're all going to try to jump off the side of that ramp, catch the reactor booster early on the back tire, and then go through the grass part. Massa having some airtime there, dropping down quite a lot, and now, we mentioned the point format, this is an opportunity for Solari to score big.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but this is also the exact same position we saw Grenadi in the start of Friday's matches against G1. Grenadi was put in this position where he had to defend for his team, and he is doing it right now again. He has to get that first or second place because it is crucial that Solari does not start with an ace. But Big Grenadi getting a lot of speed right now and overtaking Pack for that first place. Can he hold it here towards the finish line? He definitely can, and that's such an important defense by Grenadi.
A great save there, Massa with the early mistake. Grenadi able to get first place, and that means the score is a draw. 1 point for each team. Had Pack beaten Grenadi there, then Solari would have gotten 2, and Big only 1. So this shows the importance of, like, even if your teammate fails, you can clutch up and deny the opponents from getting an edge. Pack having to release to not go into that barrier. And this time, with a low jump from both the big players, maybe they can make something happen. No, Pack actually recovers beautifully.
It was a great release and a very fast recovery. Understanding that the line was wrong and then making a snap decision to release. It's very, very well played by the English player here now. Carl Jr. is in the lead. Pack is going to try to see if he can catch up to Grenadi here on second place. They want to score this early ace to establish themselves on this map. But Grenadi here doing a great job once again by defending that first place.
Yeah, and the time he drove last time was really strong. A 105.3, the world record here, driven yesterday by Gwen. A 105.0 is very hard to match. Grenadi holds first place before the last drift, but he hits the wall. And you mentioned the ace being a possibility. Now it is a reality for the Solari players. After both the Germans crash here, that's going to be Pack and Carl locking in 3 points in a single swoop.
And just like that, they did the breakaway in the points, and now 4-1 is a very, very hard place to come back from, because those 3 points, if you just if you don't get an ace yourself, you gotta get like 3 round victories to get back up and equalize the score. So this is not gonna be easy to come back from. A very strong position for Solari.
Is strong indeed. The times driven, 105.5. We're quite significantly slower than last round, and that might mean that although Big are behind right now, they have shown they can drive faster than what Solari's put up as of yet. So that is an angle of hope. But yeah, Solari first picked this in such an important match. They are obviously feeling confident about their chances here. Even after Grip was banned out, Masa with a lot of speed though, propelling himself up into first place. Grenadi is last now, so it's his moment to shine. And he has about 1,500 of a lead towards both players to work with.
Yeah, Masa now tasked here with getting that first place, and we are getting closer to the last section of the map here. Only 2 more turns. This right-hander is going to be super crucial for Masa to keep that speed. He needs that momentum to maintain that first place. Is he going to get it? It looks like a clean turn. Cole Jr. getting a little bit closer, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and Masa is going to be there to defend that first place.
Another draw, but Solari, I think, are quite content with that. They drive their 0.5s. They get 1 point closer now, halfway to reaching 10 and taking their own map. And they're kind of, you know, asking Big, okay, you get 1 more point, but you're still 3 behind us.
Yeah, they both of the teams are very, very well versed with this map. Both of the teams have more than 50 rounds on Vortex, so definitely veteran teams on this map. And it goes, like, it shows all of these rounds are incredibly well played, and we don't see any major mistakes.
No, only small touches, but it is always a Crash trying to gain something more. It's not like, oh, they don't know the turn is there. Grenadi, when he crashed and surrendered the ace, he was trying his best to defend and getting all the speed he could. Now, though, look at this. Carl dropping a little bit behind, sliding out almost down the hill into the wall. And now, this is a big opportunity for Big Clan. Pack about a 10th behind both of them, but he has a better setup here, able to attack the corner on the inside there, catching more speed than both Masa and Grenadi. 1 versus 2 in the last drift. Both the German players let off the acceleration on the exit, and Pack, with a stable pipe here, can get himself past them, but does he have the speed slides on the grass to hold this down? He does. Denies any more damage and keeps the scoreline at a 3-point difference.
That was a beautiful attack there on the corner. You saw he got really tight, drove over the corner where he could have clipped to get a better trajectory into the final right-handed drift that he needed the exit speed from, and that gave him that momentum that pushed him up there on first place. Great defense by Pack.
You know, it's a fast round when Grenadi has the worst start in the field. All the other players have mastered that backward strategy. And if it isn't too clear, the reason they're driving onto that disc in the first place is because they are under a no steering effect at the start block. So they have to use that spinning disc to get to the first checkpoint and get rid of it. Here they have engine off into the water, and so if you have more speed going through it, you'll have a lot more towards the checkpoint. Masa able to extend this lead. A 36 checkpoint is dropped here. That is close to the world record pace. And when Grenadi joins him up there after Pack is dropped down, this is their opportunity to equalize the score, Janik.
Well, once again here, they are not in the clear just yet. Grenadi touching the corner, and Masa's now going to be only one in the lead. He is quite far in the lead, so he just has to save this right now, but it does look like it's going to end up in a draw. Unfortunate mistake coming in there from Grenadi. They could really have used that ace.
5.3. Again, Big Clan are the ones driving the faster times. 0.3, several times by both the players, but the points are going in Solari's favor. They're now at 7. They've hit track point, meaning an ace, first and second place, would get them to 10 and securing their own map.
And we have talked about this. Just the fact that you hit those 7 points puts some pressure on your opponents, because they know, okay, this could be the last round of this map. This could be the definitive round that gives them that map point. And Masa already quite far in the back, so Grenadi has a lot of pressure, basically the whole team's pressure on him. Masa trying to push back up, getting a really good hill right there, entering the transition with a little bit of a slide. That's going to decrease his speed, and once again he's going to fall behind, and there goes Grenadi out the side. He slid out, and now Pack and Carl Jr. are alone in the lead.
Yeah, this is quite far for Masa to catch. If he gets past Carl, they have one more shot at this. If not, Solari can lock it in here. with a good last drift. And also the pipe, we have to mention, no mistakes on the pipe at all yet, but look at the speed Muscle was able to accrue. That might just be enough to get to Carl across the straight. He still has about 5 seconds of driving left. A better speed slide could do it, but Carl has enough time to work with, and Solari will ace twice on Vortex here to take their own map with a dominant victory and put themselves on the board.
We say dominant victory. It's a 10-4. It does look pretty dominant, but what happened isn't that they drove incredibly, like an incredible faster game or anything. It's just that they're more consistent. They make less mistakes, and they take advantage of the opponents once they touch a corner or similar.
Yeah, we see some of the replays here. Some really close fights in that last corner, and Pack able to just get a little bit of a better drift to deny any more damage that they could have done in the one of their better rounds. But now, Janik, this is the map we talked about. Pool, Big Clan, or I would say Grenadier and Muscle right now are the world's 2 best players on this track.
Oh, absolutely.
In consistency and the time to deliver, and also Massa with the world record several times last time they played.
Yeah, what did he drive? 0.014?
Yeah, he had a 105.018, and then he also drove a 105.014 in the same match, which is ridiculously fast. Anything below 105.3 is a world-class run on this track, so. Oh, Grenadier releasing in round 1, though. This is a track that is less obstacle heavy, so you will see more rounds being decided by just the racing lines rather than, oh, will the players get past this crazy obstacle that the mappers put in it.
That turn right there where they enter it in a drift and then afterwards cancel the slide is also very definitive. Ooh, Pack with an unfortunate clip.
I like that attempt though, because they know Grenadier's last, they know they can try to game, but look at these splits, Janik. Massa has the world record. Is he gonna drop a new one in round 1? Because he is on pace for it right now, clocking in at 50.4 before the identity, but sliding into the wall. The players try to go wide around that pool to make sure that they stay on land as much as possible, accelerate further. Carl looks like he's gonna get first here. And Grenadier with the early mistake, second, Packeting third, and then Massa.
And that is still a 105.3, a respectable time, but Massa was just far ahead of that.
He was flying ahead of that, yeah.
But that's going to be a regular victory for Solari, and I think this is what Solari is going to try to take advantage of. They need to take advantage of every single one of these mistakes. If you can capitalize on your opponents touching a wall or releasing, that's where Solari shines. They're just consistent players.
And I think Big know they have the pressure on as well. Having their choice of map here, if they don't win it and they go into Solari's third, that is really tough then to reverse sweep the rest of the series. So
but it's not impossible. They reverse sweeped on Friday against G1.
Yeah, they did. They were down 2 maps and got 3 in a row. That's right. But even if they lose this best of 5, there's still one more best of 5 to be played against Solari to see who moves on. Pack with the lead in this round. Every player is within just a 10th of a second before the ending. And you can see Carl here. Looks like he's losing time, but then the slightly wider approach gives him a little bit more speed to hold that gap at about the same distance. Grenadier into the wall before the water part. Now, Pack on a very inside trajectory, going up early onto land, down into the water again. And he has the speed to contend with Massa to give Solari another point, and a great time from Pack.
What an amazing time. 500s away from that world record. Actually, 400s away from that world record. Just going to show that, like, Massa, you need to drive your own world record pace if you want to still be sure to get that first place for your team. And, I mean, that is incredible by Pack. We know that Pack has pace that is unheard of, but he also has it on maps we didn't even think about.
Yeah, his personal best on this was a 105.06, but that was like an outlier run, and now he showed it again. And, you know, if something happens once, it's a coincidence. Twice, you start to think that's not so coincidental anymore. Pack showing he can master pool just as well as Massa. And if they already had pressure, it's certainly a lot more now on them, Big Clan. They are driving well in this round. Equal to Solari through that checkpoint, even closer than the last one. Every player splitting at about 42.2. Great times being driven once again. And we're just going to have to see the scramble in the water here.
Yeah, we are. As they enter the final section, all of the players except Carl Jr., I think, just slid out right there. Pag is in the lead. He's trying to maintain these points for his team, making sure that it only ends up in a draw. Grenady also with a slight mistake, and Pag once again with a .042, and just showing people I have this consistency down to a T. And also, when you look at the paper, if you just look on paper, Big Clan has a way better median than Solari. Big Clan's median is about 0.4 if you average out the team, where Solari is a 0.5. They're actually 0.1 better in terms of consistency if you look at just the median for Big. But with these times coming in from Pack, I mean, we might have to throw those numbers out the window.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is just such a Solari factor where they will have played 38 maps of this, 38 rounds of this map going into today. And then Pack drops his 2 fastest times that he's ever driven in the first 3 rounds of playing it. Like, that is just that tournament performance that we love to see, where players really give their everything. 105.04 twice now. And Janik, they are on pace towards that once again here. But Big have gotten a small lead. That 0.1 median you talked about is showing up in this round. Grenady Massa had before that water part. Carl looks like he's lost a little bit entering this final section. The right-hander, Solari up on the edge earlier. Grenady into the wall! No. And Pack is maybe a hair faster than Massa, but he will not be able to get past. It will be a round victory for Big here.
I did think that I saw Carl Jr., he hit the checkpoint in the middle of the identity with his back left wheel. It was a little bit hard to see, but if you looked at his trajectory, you could see that he was going to slide out there. But, I mean... And what is weird is that we've seen Grenady fail almost every round now. Yeah,
but to me, this is the interesting thing, is Grenady doesn't fail unless he really is trying to push everything. And when his opponents are driving 0.1, he knows he has to have an influence in the round. He can't just be driving 0.3 or he's going to be 4th every time. Well, so it's a mistake he's making in trying to get something more.
Yeah, because these 0.0s that we're seeing are faster than his PB. So he has to
match PB.
Yeah, he has to match his PB or drive faster than he's ever driven before. And I mean, that's not easy to do on a high stakes match in a semifinal.
Went a little bit too wide. Massa again dominant up front on pool. Grenady able to join him, but 2 blue cars are quickly approaching behind. Now the sirens are coming through. Pack on to 2nd place, trying to catch up to Massa. Massa going a little bit wider than he might have liked to. Late for the setup, but able to get that last line. And he should be able to hold his 1st place against Pack. Takes it with a 105.05. And Grenady, as you said, almost getting to his personal best level.
And that is both the top 1 and 2 players driving faster than Grenady's PB, right? So, like, this is, I mean, we've had this in Cup of the Day. I don't know if you've ever had it. Of course you have. Everybody has had this, where you drive PB time in Cup of the Day, and you're still, like, 45th or something stupid,
you get knocked out. Yeah, it's like, what are these opponents I'm
you're in
playing
midfield with a PB, and that's difficult.
It feels hopeless. But, guys, the score here, this could flip either way. We talked about it. Big probably need to win this if they're going to take the series. The other maps, I'd give Solari a slight edge. Pool is their stronghold map, and it has been throughout this league. Can they clench it here in
a
double track point situation?
Pack just flying through the opposition right there. The speed he got from that that slide cancel into the downhill was just beautiful to look at. And now Carl Jr. and Pack, they're challenging for that 1st and 2nd place, but all the cars are within half a tenth of each other. Oh my god, we're entering the last couple of turns here in the identity, and we have one person from Solari sliding out. Pack now in the lead. He
Massa has speed. He might get there. He might
has to maintain it. 7 thousandths of a second separating the top 2 players here. Pack just barely inching it out in front of Massa, and that's going to be another draw, but even closer in the points now to the 1st victory here.
This is so tense now. A regular victory for either team. Gets them across the line, and a big mistake from Pack. The pace engine from Solari. The strategy where he is the attacker and Carl is the consistent one has to be put on hold. Carl Jr., the 5-time world champion of Trackmania, has to put on a spectacular performance. Massa with a mistake as well. You can tell that these players are really nervous here. Now Grenady versus Carl up front. Masa's made a greater mistake actually than Pack, so it is in favor of Solari, and that means if Carl wins this battle here, this one race, it could decide who takes the map as a whole. Grenady has to hold this to give himself and Masa one more chance at taking their own map home. And they are so close before the identity.
And we've seen Grenady do multiple mistakes in the identity. He cannot afford to make any mistake as of right now. Heading into the first turn, both of them getting it beautifully. Second turn here, do not slide out. Getting up to the checkpoint.
Grenady, he has the speed.
Oh!
And Carl slides a little bit. Grenady takes it and at least secures another potential round. Does Pack have third? He does. So it will be a 9-9 scoreline.
This is getting interesting here, Virtual. Any deviance or mistake from either team could spell doom. And Solari really trying very hard to win right now, because if they win Big Clan's map pick, that would be detrimental. Like, they would basically say, we got this first series down. This is ours.
I think both Masa and Carl feeling, Masa and Pack feeling relieved that they weren't the ones who made the decisive mistake there, that they get another chance to show what they're capable of here. And now it's about keeping the pressure, keeping yourself under control, under pressure. Carl into the wall, big opportunity right now. Masa and Grenady through the turn, but Pack is there. Pack can redeem himself and cover for Carl this time, and he has the pace to do it. Look at that drift. Pack setting himself up beautifully for the platform transition, and he has about a 500th lead towards both the Germans before this uphill turn. Gonna get more speed than both of them, and the inside trajectory to remain the same distance ahead before the identity. The water drift now. He can't afford to lose grip in the downhill. Both of them are so close. If one gets past, that will be the map. But Pack is pushing. He has to release.
No,
he crashes.
Pack.
And Grenady and Masa are going to secure their own map. Just in the nick of time.
So important for Big Clan right there. Making sure that they get that. But that was a little bit closer than they wanted it to be. And the question is, if they win this first series or if they lose, are they going to first pick Pool again?
They have to. I can't imagine a map they're more comfortable on. You saw it there, like, Pack drove 105.4s. It got scary, but overall, their consistency was there.
Yeah,
Grenady's ability
they
to drive
was.
point ones as well, so consistently, I think is one of the winning factors, that he was able to back up Masa in rounds like this one.
Oh, absolutely. But also, like, some of the things they had to rely on was both Pack and Carl Jr. making huge mistakes in the actual very, very last important rounds there. And that's hard to rely on. Like, very, very nice for Big Clan that it happened. But I'm gonna wonder if they got something up their sleeve for maybe next round.
So this is map 3. It's breaking. It's the longest map in the map pack. 1 minute and 13 seconds is the average round here. Some players have gotten 112, and Pack is one of them. One of only 2 players in the league that have dipped under this 113 mark. At his personal best, a 112.88. But anything low 113er is good. Masa and Grenady played this on Friday against G1, and they were able to drive 113.5s quite consistently. But is that going to be enough against Solari? I don't know. And since Solari picked it, I don't think so.
And we saw Grenady with this safe finish last time, which is going to lose him about, like, at least 500s, maybe 0.1 if the others really try to risk it. And maybe that is too safe playing against Solari right now. We're going to have to see what's going to happen. But Pack in the lead in the start.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen this map before, very effect block heavy. Right now they're driving with Reactor Booster up and Fragile. That all gets reset as they go through that green gate that removes all effects, but Grenady hitting the wall, costing him some time. And now we have a very difficult ice turn. If you think about it, they're ice sliding, but they cannot really see the exit. It's all feeling to get through the checkpoint and go down the quarter pipe just in time to set up for the outside dirt line here. Driving on that slope gives them a better turn trajectory, more speed. And this map is basically just one full motion. There's no time to breathe at any moment. You're just always trying to do something to gain more speed.
Correct. Here you're going to see the players, they might accidentally fly out the water and get a huge speed loss, but none of it happened here to either Pack or Masa. Here they're going to try to brake to reach a very specific speed to get the right-handers. You see, they're going to try to get about 300 and something speed before they do this right-hander. If they get too much, they're not going to be able to do the turn. If they get too little, they're going to get overtaking. That is why the map is called Braking.
Yeah, scary pace being displayed here from Pack in round 1. We said Big drove 113.5 We're seeing 1:13.15 from Pack already. And that is a time that we have not seen from either Massa or Grenade ever in the league. They have played 54 rounds of this, and their best is a .18. So then you might say, okay, we gotta turn the knob, we gotta put the pace on. Massa eats a wall for that, trying to get a little bit faster on the map, and Pack is still relentless with these starts, getting those drifts beautifully, and he's up in the lead by Artie.
This is what we saw with Big versus G1 as well. Big would consistently be behind once we reached this ice slide, but they would gain towards the ending, especially Grenade with his consistent ending. Might not be the fastest, but he always made sure to finish the map here.
He's pushing right now. The call has been made on the comms, go all in. Because this is a scary situation for Big. They could get aced if Grenade gets beaten by both Carl and Pack. And we saw that happen on Vortex. That lead was insurmountable for them. So Grenade has to try to hold this lead. And you mentioned he had a safe ending. He goes straight. You see Pack doing this wiggle. It actually slows him down faster. So he can get to that speed threshold. Now for the last turn, 280 speed is what Pack is looking for before he commits for the turn. He's a little bit faster, trying the best that he can to get past. But this is going to result in a win for Big.
Yeah, they're going to equalize the score, and that's the risky part. We saw Gwen do this a lot, where he went for the exact speed that you can get, the absolute maximum speed you can do that turn with. He went for it so many times, and he hit that outside wall, just like Pack did there. But on the other hand, if you don't hit it, and you go for that risky line, the reward is great.
Yeah, Pack, they're realizing, okay, the upside of me getting past Grenade here is we further extend our lead. The downside is, if I crash, we lose the point. Maybe it's worth it. But he does pay the price there. They're now equal after the first 2 rounds are played.
I mean,
big mistake.
Huge mistake from Grenade. Now Massa is tasked to be in front of both Carl Jr. and Pack if he wants to at least get a draw. But, you know, a second place is not too shabby either. Making sure at least to deny the ace is the very minimum Massa is going to look for. And Grenade is probably yelling in that earpiece right now, making sure that that Massa is safing or at least trying to push up to that second place. I don't think the first place is far. First place Pack is far enough away for you. I don't think he should push for it. He might be able to, but getting that second place is going to be so important.
Yeah, he has to get past Carl here because they're running away with it right now. They're increasing their lead to Massa, and he can't really do much. Being 4 tenths behind, he just has to try. But really he's hoping for a mistake from either Solari player because the gap is just a little too far on the timer. And now you see both Pack and Carl releasing the acceleration, making sure they get the finish.
Oh my god.
An ace and a 1:12.891 from Pack.
That is so close to his to his personal best as well. Absolutely incredible pace from Pack.
And out of 16 players in the league, only Pack and Gwen have driven under 1:13. So Pack again showing some mental pace here.
Yeah, at this point, Big isn't really, I don't know if they're worried about getting first, but they might think that time is just not necessarily realistic to get immediately, and they're going to be looking for the mistakes. They're going to be looking to capitalize on some of those weak points in the armor that we see Solari once or twice will make a mistake here, because this is one of the harder maps to get through without making a mistake.
It really is. That ice slide is not trivial. You got all these effect blocks to know how to respond to the water part, where we saw Massa slide out. A lot of these mistakes can happen, but so far they're happening most towards Big rather than in their favor. Massa going for an early corner, gonna have a little bit less speed, and I think we will see Pack getting closer on this outside trajectory hits. This is a huge moment now where Carl has to try to get back in the field. A little bit more speed for Grenade, so this is a chance.
Yeah, this is exactly what I was just talking about. This is where Big really needs to take advantage of that mistake coming in from Team Solari. Now, Carl Jr. getting up to that second place, and Grenade is gonna stay behind him, but they're very close to each other. Massa also on great pace here, but can Carl Jr. come back up next to him? Not quite, but maintaining that second place is important, and Massa almost getting that sub 113.
Yeah, new personal record for him in the league. 1:13.03, great time as well. And that is a nice sign to see if you're a Big fan, because if you have 1:13.1 personal best and your opponents are driving 3 tenths faster, you can't really match it. But Massa and Grenade show they have expected this pick, I think. They have really refined every corner that they can, and their potential pace is much higher than their personal records right now.
Yeah, as we go into round number 5, Pack and Call Jr. A little bit risky, but they are once again ahead once we head into this ice slide. Masa overtaking Call Jr. though, getting a little bit more momentum out of that left-hander. And now they are once again fighting for that second place, but Solari are hungry for that ace right now.
It is so impressive. Pack consistently out of that dirt corner has been first every single round except one, and he's doing it again, but Pack... Carl is right by his side, so they could get an ace here and close the game. They are on track point, which would put Big in a really bad spot going into the last 2 maps of the set. Let's see if they can hold it on the identity. Masa with a really good curve, one of the best turns I've ever seen on this identity, but he needs one more and he needs to do it better than Carl, who releases, hits the fence, and keeps them with another chance at this. Is Grenady getting through here? No, he
made a mistake.
Well.
Oh, that's a crucial mistake there from Grenady. Unfortunate. They could have ran away with just a draw, but Solari is going to take the round victory and jump up to a 9-6. So Big needs to get an ace and then a map victory, or at least an ace and then some.
Yeah, they need to ace first of all, and then, as you said, that only puts them at 9-9. So 1 point necessary for Solari, and Pack is gonna try to do what he's been doing every single time so consistently. Just watching him do it once more here through the water, getting a little bit more speed towards that uphill, and you see him just extend ahead, now pushing with way more speed than everyone else up through that dirt corner. And what do you know? He's driving his fastest splits yet in this decisive round, and he still has that massive lead.
Yeah, it's incredible how far ahead he is every single time going in to this ice slide, and he maintains that lead usually throughout the entire map here. And as we just talked about, Big has to get first and second place. They need to overtake Pack. They cannot let him even get second, and that's gonna be Masa having to gain 0.3 on Pack right now, and he's losing even more pace. This is looking dark.
It's looking dark, and Pack is driving world record pace just to make matters worse for Big Clan, but Grenady, with some last-minute heroics, is going to match him on this bridge. Last turn towards the finish, Grenady getting the best of it, and this is a great time from Grenady. 1:12.89 from him, showing that they can keep up with the Solari pace, but they're going to have to try that in the second best of 5 as Grenady does, as Solari takes the map here.
Yeah, Solari takes the map. They have one more map to go, but great seeing Grenady being the third person to drive a sub 113 on this map. Definitely not an easy feat. Only Pack and Gwen has done it so far.
Yeah, as we see some replays from the third map here, that Pack was trying in that one round. That actually was a great opportunity for Big. I think this gap is a little too far, a little ambitious to try to catch, but
yeah,
you see the dangers of risking.
And then we also have some incredible pace from Solari, which of course results in an ace here. Masa sliding out, but yeah, Solari definitely has the consistency to take these difficult maps away from even the best of teams.
And we're going to Big's answer. Big's picked the 4th map in the series, and the 5th and final one, if we get to see it, was the randomly chosen airwalk. Now, Control was an interesting pick for me because this is a map Solari has tended to first pick in some of their early series in the league, and it's a very Solari-styled map. It's something they prefer because it doesn't have that many obstacles.
I also remember, I mean, we did see at least once where Pack played just absolutely incredible on this map, but at the same time, I think it was the same map actually, he failed the last identity jumps like 3 rounds in a row.
I think that was their set against Alliance, yeah. So it can be tricky, but just knowing that it's a map that Solari has preference before means it's a map you gotta be very confident on to pick it in the series. So you see it here, some jumps into bobsleighs. That's gonna be a recurring theme. Grenady getting it great, but sliding out on the uphill, losing ground towards the others.
So what happened there is he didn't get a full slide cancel, so his car never actually exited that drift motion. So when he turned right, his car just started drifting more than he already was. What you want to do is, oh, here, this is important. This is the identity of the map. You want to go for these low jumps. The lower you go, the better. And we're going to see Masa and Call Jr. Who is getting this last ending? Call Jr. almost saying no to the victory. 0.003 of a second there.
And that is a great round as well. Only 2500s from the record.
Victory.
Yes, I mean, whew, that's crazy. But yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. That's the identity of the map, where you have to control the airtime that you get. So in Trackmania, if you release in the middle of the air, you slow down. You have control of your car mid-air, and the players are tasked with controlling their car as fast as possible to get through those jumps, and it is not as trivial as it looks.
Yeah, if you listen to the engine, you can hear them actually release on multiple jumps here to land as early as possible. There's one coming up right in this downhill as well, where a small release gets you early grip. It's a small little, like, silence of the engine there to get an early landing, and now Massa has a lot of speed through that. The icy tires, as you mentioned here, you gotta stabilize the car, get full grip of the surface, and then smoothly steer to not enter a new drift like Grenadi had happen to him. Then the ending. Pack with a wide setup, trying to remain ahead with the gear intact, but Massa's getting closer, only 200s apart before the first identity jump. Now the small releases again, really close. They were only a few hundreds apart last round, Solari and Big Clan, and now can Massa get closer? Can he get the longer straw? Not quite. He's gonna draw short twice, and Solari go up 4-2.
These are great paces here. We are about 0.1, maybe 0.15 away from the records, and still though, the records on these maps are not based, but they're definitely reliant on having some incredibly, I won't say lucky, but just some incredible identities, like identity jumps there.
I would say they're pretty based.
Okay, yeah, based. I get what you mean, but
driving 110-20 on this in a live round in the tournament is pretty based, but we will see who can get to the base, who can get the home runs here.
True. And Big are about now 2 points behind on their own map pick, but Massa showing great pace in the start. 0.1 against the rest of the field. Now, 0.1 doesn't look like much, but if Massa keeps driving a decent round here, there's no getting back up to him. It looks like he's getting a very harsh exit out of that bobsleigh, and that's gonna give Carl Jr. and Pack an opportunity to come back up.
Yeah, Grenadi hits the wall. Carl falling off the bridge here, though. On that no brake section, they can't drift. They can only release with the effect in place. Massa again in first on even faster splits, but Pack has a slightly better first jump, getting 200 shaved off there, and the gap is shrinking. Pack going high to get an early landing, quick towards the finish here, but Massa holds on 110-31, and we're only getting faster and faster. But the final result here is that Big Clan closed the gap by 1 point, 5-4 now.
But it is an interesting map pick, as you said, against Solari, because Solari has some good rounds on this, and they also have a lot of them. Pack and Carl Jr. have 43 rounds versus the 36 that Big has, so they do have more in-match experience, but we don't know what they've done alone on the offline screen.
Yeah, that's very true, that Massa and Grenadi, seeing how they improved their pace on braking, they could have practiced this on repeat for the past couple of weeks. Last round, it was Massa who had that amazing start, but now look at Pack running further and further up in front. Massa is still within distance to catch up this gap, though he knows Pack has great identity jumps, so he doesn't want to be too far. Low into the bobsleigh, gonna have a bit of a wobble to deal with, but able to balance that out and not take too big a time loss. But Carl and Grenadi both get that section better than Pack and Massa, so the positions flip. It's looking like an opportunity here for Solari as Massa almost loses grip, but anything can still happen in these final two jumps. The first one, Pack getting a lot of time towards the others there, might even be in range to get an ace if Grenadi makes a mistake here. Carl looks like he has first place on grip, and he will take it. The positions remain for Solari. 1:10:27 now, though.
That was a risky jump from Pack. Like caressing the corner of that pool block there. He might as well have jumped off of it. That was impressive. Not quite enough to overtake Grenadi there. Massa actually almost came back to bite him, but I mean, he kept that third place, and he made sure that Solari got the round victory, and now Solari have put themselves in a position where an ace would close out the entirety of this first series.
Yeah, they would be the ones taking it. Oh, Grenadi with a mistake. Ooh. This could be all the more likely now if Solari wins the series. Big Clan still have a chance in the second best of 5. Teams play 2 best of 5s. If one team wins both, then they advance to the final. But if they win one each, there's an Armageddon map that they will play as a decider to see who gets to face Alliance that are currently waiting in the grand final to see who their opponents will be. Masa trying to hold on right now. That mistake is not that decisive, actually, because Granadi's 7 seconds behind, so it might be Masa. It's all in his hands here on the jumps.
I mean, nothing is over yet here. Masa seems to be getting first place. That's only going to end up in a draw, which means Solari is going to jump up to 8 points. If he makes this jump, he does a little bit.
This is a very good time. Ooh, 110.25.
That's great. That's actually really great. That's what, up there with the top 5 best runs of this map. So,
yeah, and also 100th from his personal best.
Yep.
In such a clutch round.
Absolutely important here. So nothing is over yet. Big could come back. They could get that ace that they're looking for. You never know when mistakes can happen. This is a very high pressure situation for both the teams. So nothing is said and done.
The problem really is that they can only sustain 2 points of damage right now. Solari have built up this lead. Round after round, they're 2 points ahead and only 2 points away from the entire series. So this might be Big Clan's last opportunity. If they don't get this round well, then I think Solari will close it out. Jump up on the platform now. Masa with a lot more speed than Pack. Can he hold car control in the bobsleigh? Gets that good, and this is looking great for Big Clan.
Beautiful exit of the bobsleigh right there, and you can see Masa just zooming ahead. His teammate is a little bit behind, but Carl Jr. and Pack are driving on top of each other, just about 2 car lengths. I had Grenadi getting a little bit of airtime, and that's going to leave him even further behind. And now Masa has to get that first place to secure a draw. Otherwise, Solari is going to take it home. So Masa needs to make this jump flawlessly. If he does not, he might be able to get overtaken here. He saves it.
What a
very
time,
clean.
Janik. That's the world record for Masa to clutch up 1:10:10. And he puts the game at a 9-7 score line. But now, Big Clan, they have to ace this final round. What a run, though,
1:10:10 is a full 0.1 ahead of the previous world record from Masa.
Destroying the world record.
So absolutely beautifully played there by Masa. And I mean, that must be why they picked this map. They're really showing us why they picked this map. They're like, yes, we have world record pace on this. Unfortunate that Grenadi got a little bit of airtime and had to get that 4th place. But now, if Grenadi and Masa both drive similar times than that right now, they could be taking this map away from Solari.
So a 9-7 scoreline means it will be the final round of the map here. Big's only out. They're only winning. Result is if they ace. Grenadi going close to the edge there, releasing just enough to stay on top of it. And with Pack in 3rd and Masa in 4th, the gap you want to pay attention to here is Masa's distance to Carl Jr. That 0.3 is going to be very hard to recover, but it's what he has to do if they are to take the map. Carl Jr. all in his hands right now. The world champion can lock in best of 5 number 1 by just nailing these jumps safely. Grenadi might get past, but that's okay. He only needs to stay ahead of Masa to have this in their hands. The last jump looks safe enough, and Carl Jr. will secure it, will take control, and will take the first best of 5 of this series. We have just seen the first game of the loser bracket finals right now. It is 2 best of 5s to be played. Solari versus Big, and Solari have just won the first best of 5. So we're going into the second one now, and we have to see, will Big make any changes? Who do you got? Who's gonna give you all your lost points back here, Janik? Is it Big or is it Solari?
So I would go for Big, but I mean, this is something I've known since I started watching Trackmania, and it is that voting against Solari usually does not work out.
Yeah, there is a saying that you shouldn't bet against Carl, and you really shouldn't. 5-time world champion, 4 times Serrata Cup champion, or is it 5 now? I've lost count.
I think it's 5-time world champion, 4-time Serrata Cup champion, defending world champion as well, and defending Team GL champion from last season.
He's the Michael Jordan, the Michael Phelps, the Tiger Woods of Trackmania. He wins everything there is to win. He won last season, and they are on victory's path once more. If they can get past Big Clan here, they would be in the grand final. But here we have the second pick and ban. We do have the exact same maps here. So Solari are not shying away from their maps, and neither is Big Clan. But the only difference is that the randomly chosen map is Frosty rather than Airwalk. We have gotten the call here. The match is starting on Vortex, just like the last set. And now we will get to see who is going to go to the grand finals. Masa and Grenady or Carl and Pack. Big Clan have a long way there. They have to win this set and the Armageddon map. Solari, they only need 3 maps and they will be there in the grand final.
Yes, here we go, 15 seconds, and then we start on the first map. Let's see if Grenady gets this very fast start that he's been getting a couple of times here. He's saving almost 0.1, and then couple that with a low airtime quarter pipe would be an immense start for the German player. But we're gonna head in to track 1, round 1 of the second series.
You can see him here. He goes further back on the disc than everyone else, and that is to build more speed. This only really works if you time the exit perfectly so that you get towards the corner of that checkpoint, and he is first on the split. Pack has lost about 0.2 already to everyone else, not getting the timing right on that no steering part. And Masa's up there with Grenady, so a great start on Solari's map here in the very first seconds of driving. Low jump onto the reactor booster goes well for Carl Jr. though, who is going to have that first place, but here they come, passing him on the bobsleigh into the water. Looks like Grenady has not gotten the best bounce, all the way down in 4th now, but Masa got through that part in first place still, and he's leading before the identity.
Yeah, but he's defending all alone here in the front, and Pack and Carl Jr. both have incredibly fast endings. Carl Jr. overtaking here before the last right-hander, and Pack trying to get as much speed as possible. Masa getting a little bit more speed. That momentum is going to carry him over this pipe section. Is he going to be able to maintain that first place to get a draw for his teammate? And it does look like he is. One more final stretch, and he gets it.
He gets there. Solari drive their 0.5s, but we saw 0.3s even earlier from Big Clan. Though, more volatile strategy as Grenady crashed out. But it's a draw to start. If they can avoid getting ace on this map, they have a really good shot at it. 10-4 was mostly made up by 2 aces from Solari and otherwise good rounds from Big Clan.
Yeah, that's the thing, like, aces are so strong, and if you make any big mistakes or even any, like, medium mistakes, it's very, very difficult to come back. And that's what happened to Grenady there last round, but he's now in the lead in a comfortable position here. Pack and Carl Jr. trying to get enough speed from that reactor boost to get back up to him. Masa also has a comfortable amount of speed here, overtaking Carl Jr. for that 3rd place, and Pack is in the lead trying to defend.
It's very close though. Carl creeping closer to Masa, getting past him in that drift, but Masa has a better setup. Gonna go for the early corner here, missing the approach a little bit, and that makes Carl hold 3rd place by a sizable margin. Grenady looking at 1st place, seeing if he can get past the last pipe, and he is faster onto the wall right now, and Grenady will have that 1st place for another draw.
Another draw. This is looking a little bit more interesting than it did the first time. Masa struggling here with the identity, but it does not really matter. I think he's just going for a few practice attempts here, whether he hits the finish or not.
And it's one of the first mistakes we've seen on the pipes, and you somehow take them for granted on this map that the players get them. But you see those red spinning bars on the pipes, based on which direction it's spinning. They have to be on the opposite side of it. So if it's spinning to the left, you have to be on the right side. Spinning to the right, you have to be on the left side. That's what they're looking at. If you miss that by a little bit, then you're gonna get flung right off of it.
And it is easy to miss.
It's very precise.
Especially if you have a bad trajectory into the pipe to start with.
One makes you a bit wobbly, etc. It can be really hard.
Grenady once again in the lead. He does seem to have the start of Vortex down. Very, very clean. But Pack and Carl Jr. Yeah, they're not giving up at all. Masa has had a lot of speed every single time we've gone into this section, and he does also overtake Carl Jr. once again. Oh, Carl Jr. with a huge slowdown.
Hold on, this is an opportunity. Big Clan have run away with this round already in the first couple of checkpoints. Carl is close, but 2/10 at the end of Vortex rarely ever happens unless a mistake is seen by Big Clan. They have to convert this into an ace on the last pipe now. Must have failed it last round. Left side on the first one, right side on the second, and left on the third. Both players get that movement down, and they can now cruise into the finish with 3 more points on their tally. That's massive.
A 5-2 situation for Big on Solari's map choice is huge, and you would love to see them take home this first map, because that is not just for the momentum, but taking your opponent's map, going into pool afterwards. That could be 2 maps in a row. That would be like almost spelling disaster for Solari.
And I love the Chad move. Like, you play through all 4 maps that the team's picked, and you see like, okay, you know what? We got smashed, but let's do that again. And let's do it better this time. And then now, they're actually starting off exactly like they'd hoped. They're starting the way Solari got last time. And Solari, the reason they're in the loser bracket final is because they had a similar series against the Lions where in one of the best of 5s, they swept, and in the other one, they got swept. So momentum plays a big part in Trackmania esports. But right now, Solari are looking to turn the tide. They don't want Big Land to be the ones in the driver's seat. Look at the splits right here. Faster round from Solari, and both of the players are up there to try to equalize the scoreline with an ace of their own. Last drift, Pack going a bit wide, having to release. Mossa has the speed and could maybe sneak past towards the finish. It's going to be very close here. Up early into the wall. Pack going late, but still fast enough to hold it. Ooh, a massive time from Carl, 1:05.12.
Great time by Carl Jr. And, I mean, this just also goes to show that Solari does not tilt. I mean, of course they tilt a little bit just like everybody else, but I think they're so good at resetting the mindset and coming straight back from a loss that it doesn't hurt as much getting aced by Big as some other teams might have had. They have so much experience on stage and on the esports scene that they're not really faced by a mistake or two.
Yeah, it's very hard to realize just how much better some of these players are than your average Cup of the Day player. You don't really see Carl Jr. in Cup of the Day. Who is this guy? Well, Carl Jr. became world champion for the first time 10 years ago, and then after that he won 5 total world championships, so 4 more after that. But in every world championship since 2013, he has been at least 3rd or better.
Which is crazy.
Pack as well became world champion in 2016 and has been at the top level ever since. These guys are 2 of the biggest legends of Trackmania esports, and there's a reason that they can consistently perform when it matters. But right now, this is dangerous because while I'm monologuing, while I'm essaying, Big Clan are just collecting, harvesting points. 3 more, 8-5 now against the 2 Titans I just mentioned. That's crazy.
They need to come back. We need to see another ace, the 3rd ace in a row, and it has to go to Solari. Otherwise, this could look bleak for the first map pick here. And this is Solari's first map choice, right? Which means that you could argue that this is what they feel most comfortable on. This is what they think they're gonna win.
Yeah, you start with your strongest card in the deck, of course. That's the way to go, but now they are very close to losing it and having it taken away from them by Grenadier and Mossa. Dropped a point to that last round. Carl and Pack, out of the start, they're equal. Carl with a lot of speed before the bobsleigh, also stabilizing on that wall, making sure he does not clip the edge. Pack is there to follow. The result, if the round remains as it is right now, would give Solari one last chance at that 9-7. But Pack also has potential of getting past Grenadier.
I think we're gonna see Pack push now. I think we're gonna see Pack do a very risky right-hander, and hopefully he's gonna get enough speed. That is not tight enough in the apex, and that's not gonna give him speed. Yeah, and Grenadier, not quite enough to get all the way up to Carl Jr. I think maybe if he gets a really lucky ending on Carl Jr. Makes a mistake. Mossa actually overtaking Pack. That's gonna take 1 point away from Solari. That's a 6-9 score.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice, I'd say. Yeah, for Big, definitely.
Okay, Solari, this is the clutch situation now. They have to ace, and then they will only be equal at 9-9. And we know both Carl and Pack have better personal bests. They both have that 0.1 low, 0.12 from Carl, 0.16 I believe from Pack. So they have the pace to do it. But can they deliver when it matters? Like they've done in the previous championships they played. Start looks good, but then comes Grenadier with the speed across the grass, and Mossa is able to follow as well. Both of them have gotten past Pack, and they only need to beat one Solari player here to secure the points they are missing.
Oh, but Pack is pushing and getting up past Grenadier again. Now Mossa is pushing hard as well. He wants to get that first place, or at least that second place. And it's 0.1 of a deficit he has to work with now. Pack needs a good turn right here. He's trying to push it really early, but it's not going to be quite enough. And now he needs to see Mossa make a huge mistake in the final stretch, and he does not make it. Mossa securing the first map for Big Clan.
Very, very tense round here, but After Granadi's mistake, Masa's able to hold on. Just one player being in the mix there is enough for the 1 point. And they have taken Solari's first choice. That is the perfect start.
I mean, this could be the start of a perfect storm. Like the start of a full, clean comeback for Berlin International Gaming.
And if you're going into Armageddon, you would much rather be the team that won the second best of 5 than the first, I believe.
Yeah.
The momentum of winning that is really, really strong mentally.
But yeah, we're seeing some replays here. Solari bouncing back after a short deficit, getting their own ace, as we're seeing it right here, staying on first and second place with a solid lead and then maintaining it. Very well played, but the map did go to big in the end.
And we go back to pool. This was fantastic to watch last time. So many great runs. Pack able to match Masa's pace. They both drove very close to the world record, which is currently held by Masa. If you haven't seen this map before, let's go through it once in this first round. Start with the drop down onto the grass. The players try to time the exit towards this corner. Speed slide before they drift through, getting the perfect apex and the exit line. Now they tilt the car onto the platform with low airtime. Masa, you can see, again, demonstrating just how that's done. Before they go into a wet tire part here. They drive through the water. Tires are wet. You start with a slide, cancel it for full grip down the hill. And again, Masa is demonstrating exactly how to drive this map. Has it on lock. Can just find this rhythm every time. And together with Granadi, they are about to ace Solari, keeping their momentum going. But it's not over yet because you still have the identity, and there's a reason this map's called Pool.
Yeah, and that is because of this identity where you have to drive through pool sections multiple times down into the water here with the reactor boost, pushing you down towards the ground, then slowing down a little bit in 2 final 180 turns, and Masa and Granadi, they keep that lead, and that's going to be an ace for Berlin International Gaming here in the start of the second map. Beautifully done.
Instant ace here. And we have only seen one other team in the league put Solari under this amount of pressure, and that was Alliance. Alliance had a game in the regular season where they won the first map handedly, and then they proceeded to just ace the other maps. 4-0 sweep against Carl and Pack.
And you gotta think, okay, what is happening in the big clan house right now? Their morale just shot up tremendously, I think. Their excitement, the dopamine you get from winning, it's all fueling them into this snowballing effect that is taking place. And right now, Granadi is feeling it, getting up to first place. Masa is sliding out, trying to get an early slide cancel, but didn't quite cancel it fully. And he's going to be out of this round. And now Carl Jr. and Pack trying to overtake Granadi. And Granadi has to maintain this placement because they don't want to lose too many points after just getting an ace.
Yeah, this is where Solari really wants to just stop the momentum that Big has going into this. They want to answer right back and get an ace of their own and say, you can't get too comfortable. Granadi can still hold this. He still has the line here, slightly different from Solari, going late through the checkpoint, maybe getting 100th there, and more speed. And he's going to 1 versus 2 to clutch up and secure a draw and not let Solari get any closer.
That is great. We've seen Granadi be in this defensive position quite a lot of times, and it seems like he clutches it out more than not, right? So Granadi is definitely a great defensive player, knows when he has these clutch moments, and he clutches them out.
And I will say that slight variation that you see between the two teams in the ending, when they go up on that ledge on the left,
yeah,
Big Clan go later, and that means their tires are actually more wet. The tires have a percentage of how much liquid is on them. Yep. And when you drive with wetter tires, it is much harder to drive the turn without sliding out. So they're taking a risk there, but it is the faster line. It's the more direct line to the turn. And that's maybe where they're getting these few important hundredths in clutch rounds. Well, pay attention to it next identity.
Yeah, we might see them overtake here, but now Solari is in the lead. Both of the Solari players on first and second place. Masa is really close though, and as you said, Masa has a fast identity, so it's not over yet, but we're getting into the identity now. Is Solari going to get an ace of their own? Are they going to come back now? Masa pushing. We already have a mistake there from Pack. Carl Jr. is now the only one, and he also makes a mistake. And now this could be another ace for Big Clan. Are they going to be able to make it? I think they are, and that's going to jump them up to 7 points.
7-1 scoreline on Pool. This map was so close last time with both teams hitting 8-8 and then 9-9 right after. But this is a different type of Big Clan we're seeing now. They have the momentum, they have the winds of victory blowing in their direction, and Solari are now the ones under a lot of pressure because they can see history repeat itself. They had this happen against Alliance, where they had one good best of 5, then they got crushed, and then they lost the Armageddon map. And if this happens again, they're out of the tournament, and they want to defend their title.
Yeah, here, and Grenadier and Masa are both driving great here on pool. I mean, it is also the map that I think they're most comfortable with, the map that they have the most games on, and indeed the map that they have the world record on as well. So everything is just in alignment for Team Big as of right now, but they still have to push those last 3 points, and it's not always easy to close out a map.
It can be so tough to find that last point when you know you're that close, when you know it's a formality, and then the opponent team aces here into that entity. Let's see if Big's line is going to be what takes them to 10 points here, equal to Pack, before they go a little bit more to the right, entering that ledge a bit later, and maybe having more speed. Grenadier at least is going to challenge Pack up in first, and he gets past 9-2 now. They keep the pressure up.
I mean, not a single point can go to Berlin International Gaming now. If Solari wants to get back into it. We're talking 3 aces, right?
Ace, and then a regular win would be overtime.
Yeah. So
but double ace at the very least.
That is a pretty big deal.
This is also where I talked about, like, you know it's a formality to close out the map here, but if you get a bit too comfortable, that's when Pack and Carl can punish. So take nothing for granted. You still gotta drive a 0.1 or a 0.2 and hope that it's enough to get past just one of the 2 Solari players. Into this downhill, Pack enters it late but has a lot more speed, gets closer. But it is the 2 German players up in front before we enter the start of this ending on pool.
Only 0.1 separating the players after 40 seconds of driving, and they're getting closer together. Masa trying to pull ahead, make a breakaway, and he is getting that 0.2 lead right now, and he just needs to be ahead of just one of the Solari players, and he gets even bigger of a lead. Is he going to be able to make the right-hander? He is. One more final left-hander, and Masa secures it for the team, and that's going to be 2 maps in a row with a 105.018. And that is so close to his own world record.
Yeah, only 4 thousandths off the world record. We mentioned he needed a 0.1. He drives a 0.01. Big Clan are up 2 maps to nothing against Solari. And they're going up on Breaking as the next track here. A map that they couldn't really find much on last time, but with this level of confidence and momentum, I would be surprised if they don't win that one too.
Yeah, that's the thing, but Breaking is such a difficult map, and I do think that Pack and Carl Jr. have really developed a good strategy on this, and consistency that is very hard to play against. Because even if Grenadier drives the same times as he did last time, the 0.2, where it was the third person to ever do that, even if he does that, he has to do it consistently.
He does, that's the issue. We saw Pack every single round on Breaking last time. He was just first by a lot in the start. If you haven't seen this map, very complicated. Let's run through it. You start with Fragile in the water, which means you cannot crash anything or the car breaks. You then have Engine off with wet tires, and the only way to slow down there is by doing that slide that you see the players do. Now we go through the dirt, another Fragile block, no wall hits can happen, before you have a reactor flight across the entire water part, and the uphill drift setup. And through this entire part, once again, even after the break and being down 2 maps here, Pack again up in first after the starting section, has really nailed that down. But the ending is where we saw Big Clan maybe having a better say.
Yeah, so this is what you can pay attention to. Pack and Carl Jr. tend to be in front as we head into the ice slide, but then it evens out a little bit after the downhill, and now this last section is where all the players are going to be fighting for the speed here. You want to get as much speed into this cruise control section. You cannot gain more speed on this straight, and hopefully not hit as much of that snowy, what is it called?
The snow as possible, yeah.
Yeah. And now do the wiggles into the right-hander.
Yeah, this is again wet tires and engine off. Masa getting a good start, but he needs to slow down to exactly 280 speed and commit for the turn, and he has the trajectory to remain ahead of Pack by only 400ths.
But that is still nice.
Nice times from both of them.
Very low, a very low 13.0. That is what we like to see, and it does look like Masa also has the capabilities to jump down to a 12.
Yeah, and if he's not there, I mean, most teams could get aced by the combination of the times that Pack and Carl delivered. 113.0 and 113.2. It's quite obnoxious to play against, but he is present there to deny any damage on the scoreboard.
That was just one round that ended up in a draw. They have to keep doing this, and from what we've seen last time Massa drove this, it is faster than he usually drives, and that was hopefully not just an outlier. Hopefully he is warm now, and hopefully he can do even more of these 0.0s, or maybe even a 112.
Maybe he can dip under that 113 mark. We've only really seen Grenady and Pack do it in this match. Add Gwen to the mix as well from last week's game. But here we see why Solari picked this map. They're up in first and second once more. This time it's Grenady's duty to try to get past them in the ending. But he jumps out by not taking a diagonal enough line into the water. Comes through too sharp and skips like a stone. This should be an ace for Solari, recognizing their lead here, slowing down enough, not taking any chances with the fences, and that's going to be just about an equal time for both players.
Still
113 flat.
Still, both the players would have beat Massa last round. Like
yeah,
they're still driving fast, even though they saved the last turn.
That is ridiculous to play against.
Yep, that is difficult to win against. And of course, mistakes happen when you play against stuff like that, because they're asking you to drive faster than your PBs. They're asking you to get out of your comfort zone, and it's difficult to drive like that.
Yeah, it's like if you're a bodybuilder and you're asked to like lift heavier than you've ever lifted, you're gonna break some muscles. I think like you're gonna make some mistakes. It doesn't quite work out, but wow, what a start from Muscle this time. We've seen Pack be ahead here just about every single round, and they're cranking up the pace now. Muscle with a great split after the first 20 seconds, and a mistake from Pack. He hits the inside on that exit, and that means a really good opportunity now for Big Clan. So it's a 2 versus 1, and they have the top 2 spots in this battle. Massa driving, I would say, world record pace here, Janik, with a bit of caution in those words, because the ending still is to come, but a really fast checkpoint split here for Massa.
He did lose quite a lot of speed there due to the penalty, snow, but he's still on a great run. Call Jr. is not too far behind of Grenady, though, so Call Jr. is going to try to see if he can deny that ace at least. Oh my god, Call Jr. speeding up to first place. Massa with a huge mistake. Call Jr. only one more turn left.
Grenady might get past.
Just get it.
Grenady, 400s? Almost, but yeah, that turned from the dream scenario to nightmare very quickly as Carl Jr. just sweeps past and gains even more points for his team.
That's a rough mistake coming in from Massa, and he had such a good lead, about 0.3 or 0.2 to the rest of the team there. So, I mean, it is easy to say just save it, but none of that identity is savable.
No, you have to know the speed digits, and you also have to execute like the exact timing for when you turn in past that lightsaber pillar. If you go a little bit too early, you're face planting. If you go too late, you're gonna crash out on the left side of the exit. So you have to time it to the 100th, and just a little bit off there.
And once again, we see Pack and Call Jr. up on that top 1, top 2 as we enter the ice slide, and this is where they once again will equalize a little bit. Oh, was that a mistake from both the Solari players? No, Call Jr. did miss the hole, so he's still up there. Grenady now has a great lead, 0.2, 0.3, down to Call Jr. So let's see if he can hold that.
Great drift from Massa as well. Both of them getting closer to Grenady. Grenady hits the outside wall. Carl versus Massa in the ending now. Both like to do the wiggles to slow down. We got 360 for the first turn. Massa hitting it better. Carl having to back out or crash. Massa now in the last corner, slowing down to 80. Barely getting past the fence, and he's going to get first. Ahead of Carl. Grenady securing some more points for Big Clan. 7-4 now.
Yeah, Solari will still take that 1 point. They're not too mad about that. They're still calm and collected. They are 1 ace away from taking home this map victory, and I would say that this breaking map is definitely in such a big favor for, she said Solari, so I'll say Solari, because it is so difficult and they've practiced it so much that the consistency is just difficult to play against.
Yeah, when you see them drive 113-0 in unison, it's just, you kind of just applaud your opponents for a great round. You can't do much more about that, but Big Clan's times have been formidable as well, and now we're seeing a change in the pattern. Pack is being put under so much pressure in the start that Massa is consistently getting in the first place through those checkpoints, and a lot of players tend to play with the interface of the game off, so they don't see the opponent's cars, but you always see the number on your own car, and if you see a 2 instead of a 1, that can
unless you opt to play with a DOSR Plus, of course, which I would recommend you do. I don't think that's a banned one. It removes the numbers on the back of your card.
Oh, you can remove the numbers.
Yeah.
For full Zen.
I don't like to see those in Cup of the Days. Either way, Carl Jr. is in the lead. Grenadi here. He goes for the safe still, and I think this is a good move. There's too far of a gap between Carl Jr. and Grenadi for him to try to overtake.
Close.
Pack attacking, almost making it. Masa was also right there behind, but that's gonna be a round victory for Solari, jumping up to 9 points, and now Big is in this situation where they have to ace.
Pack was just 5 or so hundredths away there from taking the map for his team, but they are very close to getting past the mark here. One more point to be gained, so any crash from Big now is detrimental to their winning chances on breaking. Seeing again, Pack last in the start. Not what we are expecting, but that just means the other players are driving faster too. Splits are still really good here across the board.
Yeah, they're trying to compensate here to make sure that Pack and Carl Jr. don't get too much of an advantage in the start of the map, but they have to keep this pace up for the entirety of the map here, and we're only about halfway as we hit that 30-second mark, and Pack is in the back, but they need to get past Carl Jr. as well, and Carl Jr. is trying to extend his lead. He's trying to make a breakaway right now.
Carl has often this season played the consistent role for the team and let Pack be the aggressor, the pusher, the one to set the world records, and the one to dominate first places. Carl's always been there consistently, but now in the loser bracket finals, he's up in first to secure this map away from Big Clan. He slides out. Pack is there still, though, and he will get that 1 point they were looking for. Even though he loses to Masa in this round, his team gets 1 point, they get to 10, and they take a map in the series.
Nice round by Masa as well. I think that is indeed his PB on this map. So very, very close to that 112. I'm sure we're going to see him do a 112 if we see him on this map again. But nonetheless, beautiful by both the big players. They still have a map lead, so they just need one more map to close down the second series.
And for a second, I really thought that, Big could take this map, but then they started off just getting ace there with those mistakes, and they tried their best to recover, but ultimately Solari just consistently gained more points and got to 10 first.
And once again, we are back on control. Here, we saw a pretty even race last time, but Solari was able to clutch it out. So if they can do that again, they're gonna even out the scoreboard again. Then we're gonna go into the random map chosen, which was Frosty, right?
Yeah, it was Frosty, and that one I would say is Solari favored. But from what we saw last time on Control, I'm gonna give the edge on this to Big Clan. Masa dropped the world record last set.
Masa did really well.
110-10. Grenadi was quite consistent, but Pack also was present with his 110.2s in a lot of clutch rounds.
I think if Masa drives the way he drove before without too many mistakes, then definitely Big Clan has a big advantage here. But I don't think we can count out Solari just yet. And indeed, if we get to Frosty, I think Solari might have a slight advantage. They've been playing that map quite well here in the past. But first things first, they have to get through Control.
See the starts. We know 26.6 is the split you want to look for after this opening turn. Up the platform, want to get that grip as soon as you can, and then as mentioned, 26.6 is the checkpoint split that a lot of players aspire for. Masa has it, the others are about a 10th off. It's still a really strong opening from Masa, landing as early as he can. The clips, and Grenadi's made a mistake as well. Already 30 seconds into the round, Solari are aware that this is an ace they have to lock in.
Yeah, this is an ace. Put on a silver platter here for Solari, and they just need to smooth sail it into the finish. But once we talked about this, if you drive too safe, it can end up making you do mistakes here, and they still have the identity to go. They need to make these jumps happen, and there you can see Pack jumping pretty low, almost
Carl
hitting.
Made a mistake. Carl might be a little bit slower than he's anticipating. Jumps very high to not take any risks here, and I respect the call there. Able to get the 3 points that they were hoping to get. And what a start for Solari.
A great start for Solari. Getting that ace in early is such a huge hit to the morale for the other players. But I think Big is still cool, calm, and collected. They'll come back without a problem. One mistake is fine. Nothing is over yet. But
how will they bounce back is the question. Masa had the start that he was hoping for. And believe it or not, he can go quite a lot faster. But there's so much air control on this map that is necessary for that to work, like the release on that uphill to push perfectly as the car lands and tilts over the edge. The two Germans are up first, and Pack has made a mistake. So this is their chance now to recover. Can Massa fix the jump? He goes a bit further this time to ensure he's up on the platform, and he has first place under his own name. Does get through the icy wheels turn as well, but Carl Jr. has mixed himself between them.
Yeah, we have a big sandwich with Carl Jr. in the middle. He's trying to push Massa here. He's getting closer. He's trying to see if he can overtake in the ending. It's going to come down to these last couple of jumps here for the identity. Carl Jr. jumping a little bit higher, but might get more exit speed going into the section. Yes, he does indeed, and he's going to find himself up on first place. Is he going to be able to maintain it? Massa, once again, jumping really low, but he's not quite there, and Carl Jr. steals that first place away from Big, making sure... Oh, Grenadi made a mistake, so that's actually going to be a round of victory for Solari.
Clutch Jr. right there.
Clutch Jr., absolutely. Love to see it.
Down in third place, makes it a first, and Grenadi failing on the last jump, trying to risk actually to get ahead of Carl, but it only costs them more points. 5-1 in just 2 rounds.
Yeah, this is, they're trying to establish some dominance, and they're trying to come back big. Big got 2 map wins in the start, really putting a lot of pressure on Solari, but they're not giving up quite yet. They're definitely not gonna take it lying down, and now they're up 5-1 here, and they might win their second map in a row.
What a start from Pack, 0.6, but the line he had going through that checkpoint means he can propel himself further with a lot of speed, but he clips. He makes the same mistake Massa made earlier, and yet he is still in first after that crash.
Oh, Massa!
This is scary now. This is the realization that the 2-0 lead you had is quickly slipping away out of your hands before you have time to even realize it's happening. Solari are going to look to ace again and get themselves to 8-1. The jumps right now, the first one goes in their favor. They both land it. Carl has a lot of speed. Grenadi having to go wide. Did not get any closer, and the second one as well. Solari 2 aces and a win. 8-1 on Big Smash.
8-1 is very, very hard to come back from, especially when you're playing against a team like Solari. I mean, it's not an impossible task, and it's always possible to come back from the depths, but a 7-point deficit against the defending champions, I mean, that is not an easy task.
And at this point, you might already be realizing, okay, we're playing Frosty against Carl and Pack, a map that Pack has had the world record on for like half the season, and it's a map that Solari has first picked against some teams. It's going to be tricky, but they did also play it against G1 and performed quite okay on it. So if we see Frosty as the 5th map of the series, Big are not out, but they would much rather play Control, a map that Massa set the world record on just half an hour ago, and here they are showing heroics. They are getting a lead out of the bobsleigh of about 3/10 to
Massa!
No.
With another mistake. So unfortunate. And Grenadi is now there up in the lead. He needs to maintain this. They can still have one more shot if Grenadi stays up on that first place, and they can even hope for a mistake from Solari. That could give them just one more point, but it does look like Grenadi is going to defend this for Big, and they're going to have one more chance.
Great secure there from Grenadi, but very unfortunate for Big Clan. The moment was there where they could have perhaps aced, and it would look a lot prettier on the scoreboard. But now they are on 1 hit point on this map, so it has to be flawless.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? We might see a back-to-back-to-back ace from Big now.
You know, this happened last playoffs. G1 versus Solari. G1 were down like 9-4, I believe the score was, and they double aced.
What happened here, dude? We might have seen a small mistake.
Technical
Massa might have a mistake happening, so we have a small pause. It could have something to do with him crashing their last round. There might have been some control issue or whatever.
We'll get that looked into, but while the players are on pause, they can also just drive around, warm up, keep their hands warm, and especially important for Grenadi here. If you didn't know, he's playing this on a steering wheel. And contrary to other racing games, that is quite the accomplishment, because Trackmania is so intensive in left to right movements. Sometimes has to flick left to right very quickly, and he is like pulling his entire desk with him at that point. to make these movements and to get these drifts right.
Yeah, I would not want to sit beside him while he did that. I think it's very, very distracting to see the player on your left just flailing about, like monk steering, as that emote is named.
But it is how he got used to playing the game. His dad showed it to him as a kid, and his dad is a racing enthusiast, so he bought a steering wheel. He's been playing that way ever since. And then when he found out things like ice are faster on keyboard, he just...
Huge mistake there from Pack. And now... they actually have a chance to ace. They still need to get in front of Carl Jr. Carl Jr. cannot be on second place. So even though it looks like a great position for Big, Grenady has to overtake that blue nameplate that is in front of him. And I mean, he gets a good setup here. Might get a little bit more speed. He does indeed, but has to release just a little bit more. And Carl Jr. maintains that second place.
So look at this setup. He hits the apex better than Carl. He has a better setup for this turn, and it might be more speed if he doesn't jump here. He had a jump last time, but he is ever so slightly faster than Carl before the jumps. It's a matter of a few hundreds. Massa should have first place on lock, but Grenady, it's all on him to get past Carl, who clutched up in a situation like this earlier on in the map to deny an ace, and now Grenady goes low. He lands the jump, and he will be ahead of Carl. They have another chance.
200ths of a second there. Grenady getting just a little bit of a better last section of the identity, just enough to inch out a wheel in front of Carl Jr. And that's gonna give Big the ace, and indeed just a little bit of hope and momentum in their favor. Can they do it again?
Where there's a will, there's a way, but the way is the most difficult. Reverse comeback here that we've ever had to see in a match. No one has really won a map being down 9-2, but now the pressure's on Solari. This should have been closed out ages ago for them, and they're still having to play more rounds here. This can mess with your mindset when you feel like you should already be out of the map and done with it. Carl going low. Carl clipped a little bit. He's gonna be slow before the bobsleigh.
Didn't lose too much though, and we can still see mistakes here, especially on the exit of the bobsleigh.
Look at what's happening.
Both
Look at
big
what's
players.
happening. Pack is kind of out of it already. Carl is 1/10 down. Grenady and Massa are pushing for another ace back-to-back here. If they get the uphill right, no jumps for either player. But can Carl Jr. find anything in the ending here? He's won from positions like this so many times. He gets a equal jump to Massa, I would say a little bit wider. He's losing time. Massa and Grenady on the last jump, both bouncing. Is it good enough to get another ace? It looks like they have it, and they will have a chance to take this map away. 8-9, Janik.
Yeah, so a round victory is also enough to at least put the game in overtime for Big. And Solari, they're going to be looking for anything short of getting aced once again. 3 aces back-to-back would be absolutely devastating for Solari.
If you are Solari right now, you're thinking, what is happening? This map was ours to rights. We were going to play Frosty. They already had the map warmed up in their mind, but no, they're not out of it yet. Massa and Grenady have forced them to play until the bitter end to see who takes this map, and if they get it, they will play the Armageddon map right after this. Massa pushing for the first place up there. Grenady falling a little bit behind before the release jump here. Gotta land early on the platform, and Grenady gets a lot more speed than Pack to get up into that third place. Now it's a drawing position that's still good for Solari, but as both of them get past Carl, they can turn this into a win. They can go from 2-9 to taking the map to themselves here and clutching up before Frosty. Pack is so far behind, it's really all on Carl.
Is Carl going to be able to snipe away just one position away from Big as we get into the first jump? He lands early. Is that going to be enough? Inside line, it is. He overtakes both the players. It's going to be down to this last jump. Who is going to get the best landing, most momentum into the finish? And it does look like Big is going to be able to take it. No shot. They come back. 3 aces back to back. And Berlin International Gaming takes home the second series.
That is unbelievable. That is literally unbelievable. No team should ever win being down 2-9. But Big, with a clutch factor, get 3 aces and they take the series, the second series. We're gonna get to Armageddon.
We're gonna get to Armageddon. So if you guys are unaware of how that works, both the teams, they are going to be banning 1 map each until there's only 1 map left. And they're just gonna be playing that map.
As the caster, I have to apologize for ever questioning the control pick. It just played out in the last possible moment.
I mean, I'm sure they just wanted to make a like a good show. I think that's the play.
My God, what a beautiful clutch by the two players. I mean, and so close. That one round where Grenady was behind Carl that you're seeing right now, and then he gets a perfect low jump to beat him by 200ths, starting the dream. The second ace just as close on the third one here. I mean, that is just spectacular. Wow. Guys, enough joking around. Let's see the bans. And there's not really any picking here. It's just banning away tracks until we have something left. So, Sinews and Grip, I think we're going to see immediately. That's fine.
Yep.
Now, things can get interesting. Pool ban. We're not going to see that.
Yes, and that was also
Breaking
obvious.
banned. That could be a TV show.
Off-road is going to get banned, and I think... maybe I don't know what more Call Junior and Pack are gonna ban now.
Let's see now. Control ban as the last ban here. Now
Frosty and then Airwalk or Vortex.
Yeah, Vortex is open. But that is kind of crazy.
And okay, so that's the thing, right? Because Big actually won Vortex a second ago.
Yeah,
right?
and they're saying you can have it. This is Solari's first pick.
Solari can choose. Solari can choose Airwalk or Vortex. I think Vortex is the way to go. But it might be scary picking into something that you just lost.
What a Chad move to leave your opponent's first pick open in the Armageddon map. Like, that is so crazy to me. Airwalk. Oh, and they're going for it. They're going for it. Vortex. They banned away Airwalk. So
picked randomly. Very randomly. Out of the one map left, we randomly picked Vortex.
Crazy here.
This is interesting now because both the teams have won Vortex.
Once each.
Once each in the last two maps. Or last two rounds. And it's once again first to 10. Exact same rules as before. You can get an ace.
Yeah, they're actually live in the round. The camera is currently panned away, but here we go.
We're not live yet.
Oh, we have the warm-up.
Don't worry, don't worry.
We have the warm-up. We have the warm-up.
No panic. You're not the one who's supposed to panic.
No,
You're supposed to be calm and cast.
All right, I will be calm and collected and also bring some hype to you guys. The Armageddon game, one map to decide who takes it. And we're starting on Vortex. So here you have the spinning disc. We see different strategies. Grenady, one of the players, to try to get a lot of speed. That is not at all consistent if you're not perfect with the timing. But look at this start. He's already gained.
Got thrown out of that pipe section right there. Now Call Junior is in the back with Masa, but Grenady and Pack both got a pretty decent start as we head into this section where the players are gonna try to get the reactor boost as soon as possible with this low jump. All the players seem to get it. Masa going for a little bit more of a tight apex, and it does work out for him quite well, jumping up to that first place, and now Call Junior's even further back. Pack getting the bounce as well, and this might be crucial for Big already with a 0.2 lead down to Call Junior 0.3. Scratch that, and now they could get an ace.
Oh, this kid could just start out massively here with 3 points to nothing. Carl Jr. has to try all that he can to deny the damage being dealt here. Gets a really good drift, but Grenady holds on, and if they can get the wiggles across the pipe here, they're gonna be safe, and they're gonna start this with... Is it an ace? Carl Jr., no! Carl! He snipes!
What an amazing snipe there by Clutch Jr. Again, just denying the ace.
Oh
that
my
is
God.
That's very, very important for Solari. That would not have been fun, losing that ace in the very start, but my God.
Perfect speed slide to get him just fast enough. And as we talked about aces, they are worth the same as 3 regular map wins in terms of how much you get ahead of your opponent. So Carl Jr. there, massive denial to get that second place, and they get a new chance here, Solari. Really unfortunate start to the round. Carl missed a lot of speed in the reactor uphill and Pack in the water bounce. This is that section. And now they get a chance to redeem themselves in round 2. Carl getting it way better this time, but Pack is slow. Masa passing him. Grenady looking for first. And they all get the water bounce good. Grenady up in first after all is said and done in the start, though.
Yeah, I mean, Call Jr. once again in the lead, and he did overtake Grenady. Wasn't it Grenady he overtook here a second ago in the final stretch? So he might be able to do that one more time. Grenady with a mistake. He's gonna clip, and now Call Jr. and Pack are gonna be able to overtake and now get a round victory for themselves. Let's see if Masa can get through this unscathed. He can indeed, and Pack actually did not overtake Grenady, so it looks like it's going to be a draw.
Draw there. I think Pack, the only way he's not overtaking Grenady is if he also clipped the platform.
Yeah.
Else he would have had the speed to get past. So a draw there. But you can tell, like, this is instantly way more mistake heavy than any of the other. Like, the pressure is on.
So important for Call Jr. to get that second
Masa
place.
almost clipping the start.
Like, it's the difference between being behind 3 points or being behind 1 point.
Yeah. That 1 point gap still remains. Pack going very high on that quarter pipe jump. You get a little bit more speed the higher you jump, but it's still not enough to really compensate for the airtime. Grenade up before the reactor booster, but look at this setup from Masa. It should be better than Pax.
Oh, Carl Jr. flying and making a mistake, and now Pac has to be the one who has to overtake Grenade and Masa on first and second place. Pac with more extra speed, but he slides out, and this should be a free ace for Big Clan.
It is a free ace in normal circumstances, but this is not a normal round of Trackmania. This is everything for the playoffs here. For a team that has not even qualified for playoffs last season, they were 7th out of 8 teams. And now they are looking to be one of the top 2 teams in the tournament. This is high intensity, high pressure, but they get an ace on Solari's first pick in the series twice. And they are up 6-2. This is incredible to watch.
But once again, nothing is over yet. Like, Solari was up ahead 9-2 before. And Big still came back. So it can happen. They can reverse clutch it, if that's a word we can say. And I mean, it's just, I mean, I'm lost for words, Virtual.
I am also lost for words. This is just amazing to watch here. We'll see what Solari can do. They might actually need an ace. Looking at the scoreboard, they are 4 points behind when Big has 4 points to go. They will just get there in time with 4 wins in a row, but it's still really, really dim right now. They're gonna have to pull out some of the pace that made them pick this in the first place. 105.2, 105.3. Carl Jr. with a very bouncy landing there, but he's still going to slow down enough to catch the reactor early. But the uphill is not good. Again, Grenade is just acing this section, getting first place before the water bounce. Can he control the outcome? He can. And both the German players are in control of their car. They're denying the slide out. And look at this. They again have top 2 after being up 4 points.
Yeah, they very well might be able to take it home now. Pac is going to try to push, and especially right here on the last right-hander, he's trying to get the perfect apex, the perfect turn, and he does get a good turn, but as you said, he just released, and it's not going to be enough to overtake Grenade. He still has that second place, and he needs to hold on to it. Carl Jr. also getting closer to Masa, might be able to overtake, not quite, and it's going to be 2 points to Big. They're going to jump up to 8 versus 3.
They're already on match point. This is a swift KO, if anything, if they can get across the line now. But Solari was in a similar position, and they got aced 3 times in a row. Can Masa and Grenade, realizing how close they are to glory, hold the nerves under control? First quarter pipe jump. No weird mistakes from anyone. Everybody getting it. Carl, though, with a world-class line there. Look at how much time that's already gained him. This is where he lost time last time with a bouncy line, but it's a lot better now. On to the reactor. Both Solari players getting it early. This is what they were looking for, and they are extending far ahead now. Big Clan, what's going to be the answer? Can they find anything? Because Pac and Carl are both driving faster than any round yet.
Yeah, but just one mistake could spell doom for the team, and there is a mistake from Carl Jr. He's slowing down quite tremendously, and Grenade is right there next to him now, and it's going to be once again down to the identity, down to this momentum you get from the right-hander, and Grenade pushes it as far as he can, but it's not enough to get closer, and I think this might be an ace comeback for Solari.
And it all started with that first line on the quarter pipe. They both jumped so low, being down so far in points. They dared to risk, and it is rewarded. 6-8 now. The 6-point gap's reduced to, sorry, the 5-point gap reduced to just 2 points. And they will still have a say in this match.
Big is still the only team who's within range to end this matchup right now, and Carl Jr. really risking it there with that wobbly line here. Everybody getting this half-pipe jump, and Carl Jr. and Pac seems to be the ones getting the furthest with it, but here is where we see this transition where Solari seems to lose a little bit of time from time to time here, and Masa seems to be doing really well. Oh, this is so bad for Solari. Pac has to get that first place.
Oh, Grenade crashed too, and he actually gets past. The disaster situation is made a little bit better now with Carl passing Grenade, and it means that Solari could bring this to a 9-8 if the positions remain, but they cannot afford any further crashes here.
Masa can still crash, and they won't lose, but Solari is looking to get up to that 8 points at the very least right now, so that they can challenge for the victory. Oh, Pac almost flying out there as well, but Carl Jr. will take that third place, Masa will take second, and Pac will get on third, and it's gonna be 8-9.
Oh, my heart can't take this. it will be disaster for either team, knowing how close they got to the finals. 8-9, double match point. Throw every prediction out of the hat, and let's just see what the players can deliver in the heat of the moment. Any mistake can be decisive here. Any great racing line can win you the game.
I mean, this is a good start for Grenady. If he doesn't jump too high, he still has, perfect start. You see that 0.2 almost down to Pack, 0.15, and this is what they're looking for. Big only needs to get 1 point here, or at least not be the bottom 2 positions, but that doesn't look too perfect there for Big, and Pack can now overtake. Crashed!
And that means they will win.
Oh, I mean, likely. They just need to not crash.
Because, like, Solari cannot afford a draw, even if Carl gets first.
Oh, 3 seconds behind Pack. This does not look well. Big knows this already.
Yeah, as long as they don't make a mistake on the pipe, then Big are beating Solari, the defending champions of Trackmania Grand League, and going into the finals. Pipe bounce number 1, pipe bounce number 2, and the third. They keep it under control. They come back after being down in the first best of 5. They win the second, and they win Armageddon. Big Clan versus Alliance in the playoff finals.
Absolutely beautifully played by Massa and Grenady. Unfortunate mistakes from the team Solari, but I mean, still fully deserved from Big Clan.
I mean, they just clutched up. They handled the nerves better, I think.
They did really well. Yeah, absolutely.
That was fantastic. And it looked like it was slipping away from them after they were up 8-3 and it became 9-8. It was like, oh.
But
wow.
My God, what a Armageddon map we had on our hands there. And that means that Big is going to go ahead and play against Alliance here for the grand finals.